welcome.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Still Talking Podcast. I'm your host, Nathan Smith. Thank you guys for tuning in today. We got a special guest with us in the studio, Tyson Lane Gray.
What's up, man?
He's a friend of mine. He actually, his wife owns the business where my fiance works. Okay, that really, I just had I feel like I had a stroke right there.
You might have.
But he actually raced Supercross and Baja trucks and did some really cool stuff. So we're gonna give that. With me as always, my co-host. We're in a little bit of a different angle. We're trying a couple different things right now with some new videos. So hopefully this stuff is going well, and we're using different video streams. So I'm hoping that's what's going on. But with me as always, my co-host Max Brenner.
What's up?
What's going on, everybody?
All right, so Tyson, just kind of start out. Tell us how old you are.
35.
35? Okay. Where are you from?
I'm actually from Utah, Melford, Utah, a little town out in the middle of the desert.
Okay, wow. You know who else is from Utah? Willett's little brother, Dylan. He was born in Utah. Yeah, that's crazy. It's a lot of Mormons and like deserts.
Yeah, there is definitely that.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're doing Baja trucks and shit, that's fucking.
That's what I was going to say. There's like a.
I mean,
fucking setup for you out there.
There was a lot. Someone told me there's a lot of like MMA fighters out of there, and they were like, "There's nothing to do, so we just fight."
Yeah, fight and race. Like, yeah.
So tell us about your family, because I know you have a child.
I moved out here 3 years ago. I got my wife, Jessica. Got a 7-year-old daughter, Tyson, lives with us.
Say that again. What's her name?
Tyson.
Tyson?
Yep.
I like that.
That is pretty nice.
Original.
I like that.
It's a little
Go
different.
on. Sorry, I tried. Yeah, my bad.
Anyways, I own Barking Beauties here in town. It's a grooming and boarding shop.
Shout out
And
Barking
then,
Beauties.
I run equipment around here now, and I've been doing some of the high school football fields around town. Been working on schools since I've got out here pretty much.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. I guess my first real question was I wanted to ask, what's the difference between motocross and supercross?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
The biggest difference, motocross is more of an outdoors. You know what I mean? Supercross is an indoors arena.
Okay, see, so like,
Makes
I'm
more
from Michigan, and we had the Silver Dome, is what we had, and so I guess that would have been Supercross.
Supercross, and they race arena cross in them stadiums too.
Okay.
But then motocross is more outdoors, national stuff. Really.
Okay. So, like more big jumps because you can do like bigger stuff.
It's more like natural terrain and racetracks over natural terrain.
What is motocross?
Yeah.
Okay, and so where were you doing this at? Were you doing this in Utah?
Well, I actually, when I was younger, raced desert, out in the desert, and it's more off-road.
Yeah.
It's, instead of a track, it's more from point A to B. Okay. You know what I mean? It's not in a circle. I mean, some tracks are now, but it's mostly from A to B. Desert racing, what I did. But, I mean, I've raced a little bit of, motocross, too, and raced a lot of side-by-sides. We do that on short course.
Man, and that's, I feel, I mean, because I'm a bigger guy.
Yeah.
So every time anybody's they talk about getting out and doing something, I'm like, bro, I would love to race side by side. That is dope.
It's where it's at, because, I mean, I love to race dirt bikes too, but I'm too heavy now, and it hurts.
No, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. And because I'm the type of guy that every time I was on a dirt bike or anything like that, I was in like shorts and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I always got off with burns
and
shit like that. And I'm like, man, it would just be a lot better if we were doing side by sides.
It is a cage and seat belts is nice.
Yeah.
I was looking at some of them, like the souped up ones, like the nice ones. They just look like little rock climbers.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Oh, they're
insane.
badass.
I saw one that was like long, and I was like, they had to have made it to look like a rock climber. You know what I mean? The rock climber model, kind of buggy looking cars. Yeah. I was like, they had to have been trying to make it look like it, because that's exactly the way. And it was like, it looked like a race. You know what I mean?
A lot of our desert cars, we'll get like 4-seat Polaris and build them into 2-seat just for the wheelbase.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? Because going over all the big whoops and stuff, the longer wheelbase is a lot better. You don't get the bucking and shit like you do on the little ones.
Yeah.
That's badass.
But the little
See, and
ones,
that, so like my dad works at John Gibson, but so when I go there, I'm looking for a car right now, and that's exactly what I do. I go up there and I look at their side by sides and said they're ridiculous, the stuff that they make. And you know, a lot of them are sold to just people that like, you've got a back 40.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they can do so much more than that. It's ridiculous, you know.
Man, my grandpa, he lives on like a mountain. He owns a mountain, and I'm always like, you need one.
I know. Yeah, no. Me and my dad talk about it all the time. He's like, as soon as I get property, we are getting something to be super fucking irresponsible.
He's got like 4
Like,
trucks
yeah.
and like 3 4-wheelers. He's like, we don't need a side by side.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, you don't think you need one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. The reason that you think that is because my pitch isn't good enough. Give me a minute. Like, I'm going to lay it on you.
Let me go read
Yeah.
the magazine again.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'll come back with some
It's
facts.
closing time, Grandpa.
Yeah.
All right.
It's closing time, Pops. All right, so tell us how you got into Supercross.
I don't know. Growing up in the desert, that's really all there is to do. I mean, I've
Bored,
rode
yeah.
dirt bikes and 4-wheelers my entire life.
Yeah.
I mean, even to school, I'd ride my dirt bike.
Oh, yeah.
And
And this was like, what years? I mean, what year was it that you were kind of?
when I was
Really?
younger, like 14, was when I did my little motorcycle racing. I mean, I haven't raced a lot of dirt bikes. But in 2010, I started working for a long travel company, and we built long travel kits for side-by-sides.
Yeah.
And we'd go everywhere. Well, then I got into the racing scene with the side-by-sides, and then I just jumped head first. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
It was
Oh, I didn't know
it was
you
my
did
dream. You
side-by-side.
know what I mean?
Yeah, you
It was
never
my
told me you
dream.
race side by sides.
You said you stalked my Facebook page. You should
I
have seen
did-
all
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Come
I
on,
saw
mate.
you. I saw you building them. I
Yeah.
didn't know that you were actually racing
Oh,
them.
yeah, yeah.
I just like I don't want to like get into it until we come to it in the plot. But you know, you said you worked for Nitro Circus, so I just
Yeah.
assumed that like when you were posting all these side by sides, I just assumed that you were working
Well-
on them. You know,
Well,
building
yeah.
them.
Let me
that's,
ask
I
you
mean,
that,
that's how
'cause
I got
that's-
into it.
And that's another question, just because you're talking about it. Like, do most people that are doing that, are they working on their own rigs?
Oh, yeah.
Do they got other? Is it more like you outsource to other people?
Most of the people in the side-by-side, like, it's so, you got to do it by yourself. You know what I mean? And they're so expensive anyway.
Yeah.
You
Without
ain't hiring
sponsors,
somebody else.
like, you're
yeah.
doing all your work.
Yeah. Okay, I
Like,
feel you.
Unless
I feel
you got some money, you know what I mean? And
Uh-huh.
them guys,
See, I worked
But-
for Java Motorcycles, and that was one thing. Like in the movies, they always kind of make it look like, you know, like I saw some movies where like the guys didn't do, you know, they had all these mechanics and stuff. But when I worked for Java Motorcycles and they had a race team and stuff, like this guy was like, if you can't fix your own bike, you're fucked from the jump street.
Yeah.
If
Well,
you
and
can't
that's-
fix your own bike, then you're fucked. You shouldn't be racing.
Yeah, and
It's
that's
like,
what
you're
I
done.
figured. I just, you know, it's
well, I mean, that's the thing. In off-road racing, too, where you're racing in the desert hundreds of miles, like, it's only you and your co-driver, so
you got to know,
gotta
your
know how to
shit.
fix your shit.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
and even rig it to where, you know what I mean, you might
just to
take
get it to the end.
just to get it to the end.
Yeah.
Zip ties and duct tape. You never know.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, there's probably definitely guys
I
who
do
don't.
that on the regular. Like,
There's
My
probably,
car is zip ties and duct tape.
there's probably definitely guys who do it and like don't know how to work on their shit. But like, yo, that would seem to be like it's awesome that I know how to start my car when it doesn't start. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Look, 8 out of 10. If that's not starting, 8 out of 10, I can probably get it cranked
Man,
up. You know what I mean?
I remember.
Like,
I remember
can
my
probably
I
get it
remember
turned
my
over,
hood.
You know what I mean?
the hood on my car, the latch was broken. It was coming up, and Brittany was driving to come get me, and I told her, I said, "Is there any kind of straps, anything like that in the car, tape, something to pull it down?" No, there's nothing. 45 minutes later, she finally gets the car to me as it's flapping up. I'm going through the car. There's Gorilla Tape, straps in the trunk, industrial size zip ties.
Everything.
I'm like fucking MacGyver would have had a field day. He would have had a stroke looking at the ingredients in this car. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Couldn't do anything. Couldn't do anything about it. Just
He said I had zip ties,
Yeah.
super glue, and Gorilla Tape.
Yeah.
No tools.
I had 4 guys in the trunk just ready to be of help. You know, like
And a fucking
anything to
Phillips
get me out of the trunk, ma'am.
He said a roll of tape and a fucking Phillips head. Like, that's no tools, but they got hella.
I got Gorilla Tape. That's all you need. Like,
My grandpa was the first person to ever tell me if you can't duck it, fuck it. You know?
Yeah.
oh, absolutely. Let me tell you something. Just to get it from point A to B, if you can't get it, I mean, like, it's done. It's dead.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the day that I was grown and I moved into my own house and I was like, "Where's the duct tape?"
Yeah, exactly. Why do we not have this on hand right now?
I went to the store and
I'm buying stock. Like,
I went to the store and you can bet your ass I've had duct tape ever since that
oh
day.
yeah.
We always keep a roll somewhere. You need it. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
What are you doing buying the 1-pack? Put that back.
You know we need
Yeah,
multiples.
exactly. It's sold in 5-packs for a reason, Sharon.
So
Way off topic. Sorry.
yeah, no. So, what are like racing events like? Like we went to our first MMA event, stuff like that, and it was like super cool. Like what goes on? Like you guys.
Yeah,
just,
because
like,
I'll say like the biggest racing event that I've been to as far as like motocross and stuff was, like a sideshow for a monster jam.
Okay.
You know what I
So,
mean?
Yeah, same thing.
Okay.
The day before the race, you'll have like a tech where everyone comes and manufacturers set up booths. Sorry, you'll run your car. You'll run your car through and make sure everything's safe. You know what I mean? They check it out, go through that, and everyone. You usually have it at a casino in Vegas or Parker, Arizona, or Mexico, which is off the chain down in Mexico.
Oh,
I bet it is.
But,
bet.
it's insane, dude.
Yeah.
But
I can't go.
you go and have
I
that tech
can't.
day, and then everyone goes and races, and then after the race, everyone goes back to the casino. Party's on.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
mean, it's fun, and everyone down there, everyone's family there. Everyone, if you're broke down, people will give you parts. They'll help you out.
Awesome.
Everyone just trying to have a good time. You know what I mean?
So I mean, it's kind of like it's kind of like a convention feel, but they're about to Star Show is races.
Oh, yeah.
They've got their booths set up, people walking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, I just want to say, just interject. I think that there's so much negativity right now, like in the media and like in the news and like in the world. Like, I think that it's really cool that like we've been doing like events and like when we were at when we went to the PF4, there were guys there that didn't have coaches, and there were coaches that had never met them before that were like, "Yo, man, they will sit in your corner
Yeah.
and they'll help you in every way they can."
Oh, yeah.
They,
That's how it
what I
should
mean?
be,
They
man.
were helping guys backstage, in the back. They were helping them go, just coaching them up, man. And
If everybody
that's
helps
awesome.
everybody, then no one can stop us, man. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, and that's what that's what it's about, is getting people together that's in it for the sport.
Yeah.
You know what I
gotta
mean?
find
Because that's
people who-
exactly like if everybody gets into it, the scene grows, everybody's doing what they love. That's really the goal.
And that's what it is you gotta find, like, because there are definitely people that I got vibes off of that were like promoters and stuff that were there that were complete assholes, and they were just there to make money.
Oh, yeah.
And then there were the
Yeah.
guys that you could tell, like the commissioner and like the owner of Peak, and like the guys who went out of their way and were like, "Hey, dude,
The
we're super
commissioner's a
cool."
badass.
Dude, the commissioner's cool.
I really like him a lot.
And he's a little dude, and you wouldn't think, but it's like, yo, he could probably
Those are the
twist you
ones
and
that
put you
get
on
you.
your neck,
Yeah,
son.
Those are the ones that get you.
And it's like, and as long as it's like everybody's trying to follow their dream and, you know what I mean, do it for the love of it. Like, I'm there because I'm a huge MMA fan. I'm a
Yeah.
huge MMA fan. You know what I mean? So it's so awesome to be able to be there and to do that. And it's like those guys are following their dreams, and it's like, and everybody's cool. And there was some personal shit that happened at the weigh-ins and that beef
Yeah,
with
one of the
Dawson and them.
fights.
But you know what I mean?
That's good marketing.
Yeah. For the,
That's good marketing.
for the most part, everybody was really cool, and all the fighters like
Yeah,
hugged up
a
after
lot
the
of
fight.
respect.
Even respect to Dawson and Aiden before, not talking shit. They dapped each other up at the end.
Yeah.
But
So-
it's super cool when, like, you know what I mean, to see that it's not just bad shit in the world. That there's good people out there, and there are still people trying to follow their dreams, and everybody's trying to help everybody, and that's awesome.
So what are you doing now with stuff?
Actually, since I moved out here, I haven't really been into the racing. I mean, I go to Supercross and watch now, and that's really the only thing I follow anymore.
You're not building engines, anything like that?
No,
working
I'm
on
not.
that? Yeah, okay.
I was gonna open my own fab shop out here and start building cages and stuff and doing some
Yeah.
work. I love running equipment, man. It's like playing Tonka trucks to me. It's not work, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
fun to me. And then
Yeah.
getting to see stuff, that after I built it, I love it. You know what I mean?
And shout out to your Bark and Beauties business. Like my old lady does bathing, and I did training for a long time. We worked in a lot of boarding places. It's hard to find places that do like good work with your dogs. Stuff that you can like really trust, and that's not even just like on you. That's for the dog's sake. I mean, a dog bites one person, and they don't know what's going on, but I promise you the state's going to get involved. Stuff like that, you know what I mean? So it's good to have. It's hard to find a good place, and it's good. I mean, you got your business going. I know there.
And
You do boarding too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And
Okay.
daycare.
Yeah.
shout out to Jessica though, because Kylie be sending me pictures of, like, I won't name any places in town, but there'll be people who will like go other places and get their dog's haircut, and then they'll bring them to Barking Beauties and be like, fix this shit. And she was always sending me like fucked up cuts of like people like the dog's hair won't be
Jessica's
even.
good.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say
they'll
she's
fix
one of the
it.
best in Hot Springs.
Yeah.
She's great.
And I'll say this, but this is just me talking about, because not only does my wife talk to me a lot, but I've been in the business too. I did that for a long time. It's not always a corporation. It's like they'll hire some people that just, you know what I mean? Everybody likes to talk like they're a groomer.
Oh, yeah.
And they're not.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And they're not. But they'll give you the job. It's just like if you really want to talk about it, it's real fucking easy to be a substitute teacher too.
Yeah,
and then these motherfuckers don't know what they're talking about.
My wife won't even hire another groomer because she's so crazy about it that she don't dare let anybody else do
And
it.
my girl's a bather. She's wanting to go to school to become a groomer and stuff like that. She works at PetSmart, and they don't give her enough time to be like training and stuff like that. So,
She needs to come work for me and let my wife train her up.
Well, I mean, that's a
Yeah, because
conversation.
Kylie does not want to be a groomer. She's like,
Oh, my wife.
she
wants to
comes
be a
home
groomer.
angry
I'm
as
telling you,
shit
I'm
about
serious.
bathing. She'd be like,
So-
"These dogs."
Well, my wife does too, but everybody does. Let me tell you something. I get that shit all the time where I like a couple will come to me and they'll go, "You guys work with dogs? I have a doodle," and
You
I'm
know
like,
what?
"My wife would fucking punch you." Like, you know what I mean?
Everyone thinks it's
And we're
funny
way off
games.
topic,
It's
but
crazy, but yeah.
Yeah. No, it's sorry, just was looking at time trying to keep us on. Tell us about. So you did Baja trucks,
Yeah.
man.
Baja trucks
Tell us
are
about
dope.
that. I
Dude,
mean, that
let
is
me
awesome.
tell you, a trophy truck is the coolest thing I've ever been in my life, dude. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
100 miles an hour through 4-foot whoops, and you can't feel them. You feel like you're in a boat.
Oh, and
Just cruising, dude. It ain't rough. It's amazing.
Oh man. Okay, so
It's crazy.
let me ask you this. And I don't know all the kind of terrains that you've been on, but what do you think's like the best for a Baja truck? Are you rolling dunes?
Dunes
Or-
are great. Dunes
I
are
mean,
fun.
what-
It's soft. It's smooth. I love riding in the dunes.
Uh-huh.
But a Baja truck, I mean, I like racing Baja, like down in Mexico.
Okay.
When you're doing 120 miles an hour out through the desert and you're just floating out there, it's so fun, dude. It's
And I guess
amazing,
that's probably
dude.
like the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
It's floating.
Dude, the first time I rode in a trophy truck, it was in Nitro Circus's trophy truck. And I was going to tune their suspension for
What
them.
a way to start.
Right? So, but we're cruising down this road, and it's straight whoops. It's about a mile long, and we come on this Y.
Describe a whoop. What's a whoop?
Just rolls after rolls of 3-foot
Okay.
hills.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I mean, just miles of them.
Oh, yeah,
So we
absolutely.
come to this Y in the road, and we're hauling ass. I know we're not going to make it. He hits the middle of the jump, and I mean a big-ass bush, and we leak this truck. And I'm like, holy shit, we're going to die. Dude, this thing just sits down and floats like it was nothing. I was like, dude, this is the baddest fucking thing I've ever been in my
All right.
life.
So like, just to give like a mental image. So started, no motion. How high off the ground you sitting in a Baja?
About 2 foot.
About 2 foot.
But your suspension on them will move 3 foot up and
Yeah,
down.
that's how when
Yeah,
you see
yeah,
them
yeah.
going through the whoops,
Yeah.
you'll
And
see
when
the
you
suspension
jump on,
like scissors almost.
when you jump on them, they'll lift up off the ground. You know what I mean, and take off.
Yeah, exactly. So like, I mean, when you hit the ground, it's more like it's in a standing
Yeah,
position.
the suspension's moving and the truck's just floating
Yeah.
back and forth.
That's great.
That's why.
So
That's why.
dope.
Like, when you see them, like the desert shots from like the far angles, it really looks like they're floating
Yeah.
across. 'Cause
Oh,
the-
absolutely.
The
And I mean,
suspension like scissors, and you can almost see through the suspension.
Well, and that's
Yeah.
the most impressive part is when like the terrain is not even. You know what I mean? It's not like a straight hill. It's coming off on both sides, and I mean that cab is just.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean it's smooth, boy.
It's an amazing feeling, dude. It
I
really
bet it
is.
is.
Oh, I'd pay to do it. I would pay to do
Oh,
it right
yeah.
now. Like
That's crazy.
absolutely.
Like, so I was just thinking earlier though. I was thinking so Supercross would a better way to describe Supercross would be like manufactured
Yeah.
racing,
Yeah,
kinda
factory bikes.
Factory, yeah, exactly.
Well, it's like the difference between like street skating and vert skating.
yeah, exactly.
You know.
But okay. Anyway, I was just thinking about that in my head earlier.
Yeah.
So, did you ever win it? Did you ever bring any home?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And I think it was 2013. I raced the Mint 400, which is one of the longest running races in the USA.
And where's that at?
In Vegas, they actually shut Fremont Street down, and all the trucks pull up on Fremont Street, and everyone parties down, and it's one of the cool. It's cool.
Yeah,
But,
Vegas only knows how to do it one way.
Yeah,
You know?
oh, yeah, it's
That's
all
how-
way.
it's a really chill
But-
time. Yeah.
That year, I actually was leading the race, and I had a good lead. And I pulled into the last pit stop just to top off on fuel. And I left my belt in neutral instead of park. I put it in park instead of neutral, and my belt burned up on it. So I went to jump back out on the lake bed, and my belt blew. And I had 2 people pass me. I ended up in 3rd in that. And that was so heartbreaking, dude, because
Damn.
I busted my ass. And then that year, too, I won King of the Hammers, the girl I was racing with, in HCR where I worked. We won the Sportsman Classic King of the Hammers, which was awesome. And then in 2013, with the Polaris shop out of Utah, we took the championship in 2013 in Moore Racing. That
So-
series.
Let me ask you this, because obviously we do the fight stuff. What's the adrenaline like of
Oh man.
being in a race like that? I mean, are you?
Perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
know
are
what I
you
mean?
on top?
Oh, yeah.
Top?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
Okay.
it's like the thrill you get when you're
But I mean,
running
even
from the
both
police.
sides of it, because some of them big desert races, you got a team that's racing with you.
Well, and
you know what I
that's-
mean? Going to the next pit stop,
and
the
that's
next pit stop.
Kind of
Even
what I
that's
mean.
fun.
Is it more like? I mean, is it more like a like when you're done? Are you like, man, I can't? Like it went so fast, or is it one of those things to where it's like a mile? You know what I mean?
No,
Like an
I
inch
mean
is a
it
mile.
depends. Some races are long when shit's breaking and you're fixing
Yeah.
shit and everyone's finished and you're coming in at dark because you're gonna finish the son of a bitch no matter what. You know
Yeah,
what
exactly.
I mean? But
Yeah. You're like,
you've
fuck it,
torn a-
Jimmy, pack it up. We're
You've
going
torn
home.
a transmission out of another car and the differential out of another car but it's still at the end you're like, hell yeah, we did
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's what it's about. man.
Even
That's
if you
dope.
break right off the get, it still was fun. You know what I mean?
I've seen like some drag performances where they pull up and they'll be like, "Put your car on the dyno," and they'll blow their car out on the dyno.
Yeah.
They'll blow the whole.
See, and
engine.
I
You're
think
like, oh, man.
I think probably one of the coolest races that I've ever seen. Shout out to my dad. He took me to an Indy race one
wow.
time, and I mean, like me, I remember I was young. I had earplugs in, hold my ear, and I mean, it was fun. It was dope. I had people next to me, no earplugs, drunk, and I'm like, oh my god, you know what I mean? They're screaming, but I mean, it's dope. It's a different feeling, man. When you're
Yeah.
like racing and stuff like that, it's surreal.
Yeah.
Because you get these people that, I mean, it's just like it takes one mistake and you're done
Yeah.
on something like that. You
The
know?
one thing I love about about racing in America is on like every sports scene that's like racing, whether it's like NASCAR or like you're talking about like Indy or like Supercross, anything racing, it's always the fans are always just getting fucked.
Super fucking drunk.
Oh well, that's exactly
That's any
absolutely.
sport
I-
ever.
yeah.
When I went to a NASCAR, or no, I didn't go to a NASCAR event. A friend of mine went to a NASCAR event, and he was telling me that there was just people walking around just smoking weed, like hitting pipes out in the open. People
Bro.
are just fucking getting lit.
And I mean, like
all
that's
day.
the problem with like football games and stuff like that. Again, Paul Smith used to do radio all the time, so we had tickets to Lions and stuff like that. And it's just, you get in those arenas and stuff, and it's not as fun anymore. You know,
Yeah.
you have like a social code that's going on when you're racing. They're like, fuck it, man, and it's like an ICP concert. Just anybody, come on in, bro.
Well, I mean, that was the one thing that he was talking about. I was like, dude, you guys were smoking, and he was like, they were racing for 6 hours. What do you think we were doing?
Yeah, exactly.
We were getting fucked up. We were getting high, son. So how'd you get linked up with Nitro Circus?
Yeah, that's
Actually,
super interesting.
the company I worked for, HCR, we did long travel kits.
Yeah.
And we ended up sponsoring them on some side-by-sides that they had and then sponsored their trophy truck. And then I actually, when Nitro Circus started doing their live shows at first, like way back in 2011, I helped them with the summer games. We opened for it, and I did a little show in the side-by-side and then another one. There's a few little shows. I helped them with it first. And then they were going racing in Baja, and they said, "You want to come with us, and we'll pay you, come down there." And hell yeah.
He's like,
let's
how you
go,
say no to that?
dude.
Yeah, exactly.
It was awesome.
Let
And
me
them
look.
guys,
You're like, I'm searching for a word other than yes, and
Yeah.
it's just not coming.
it was
Like,
awesome. them guys are cool as shit. Greg
fucking
Goffrey and them guys, you know what I mean? They're,
Yeah,
I bet.
cool, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
There's been a lot of stuff that I've seen on TV where people are like, I love that, and you're like, I fucking hate those
You know what,
people.
though, with Nitro Circus, everywhere
Right.
you'd go, and you'd have the trucks with nitro on them, and people would just bombard you.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
I mean, I
sure.
got
I'm
people
sure.
coming up to me asking me for an autograph, and I'm like, dude, I'm just the mechanic, dude.
Yeah,
They're like,
exactly,
no,
yeah.
it's cool. And
They're
I'm
like,
like,
we don't give a fuck.
by the
Yeah,
end,
exactly.
by
Yeah,
the
but I'm
end
gonna
of a-
tell everybody that you're somebody else.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
circus.
By the end of a race or anywhere, I'm like, dude, get the hell away from me, dude.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
enough.
You're like, they're like, I got a picture of you in the truck, homeboy. Sign
yeah,
the
exactly.
autograph.
This is candid. Like, it's all right.
I'm gonna tell my friends that you are.
yeah.
But man, that's awesome. So did you get to meet like Travis Pastrana?
Yeah,
Like,
I've met all of
you
them.
met them all.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
dude, that's
partied with
awesome.
them down in St. George at Fuel Fest.
Oh,
and,
hell
I
yeah.
met them. I met some of the other ones, quite a bit.
Yeah.
But
And you know what's funny is that like I didn't know that you were a motocross guy. And when you told me that, I looked at you and I was like, you were what? If I was like a motocross racer, you're the dude that we used to come into the motorcycle shop all the time. Like
Yeah.
every dude that would come into Java Motorcycles basically looked like you. Long hair with a beanie, tattoos. And they're like, "So, bro, so where the bikes at?
Where the bikes at? Yeah,
where
exactly.
where the
I don't want to waste anybody's time. Where they at?
God, they had a nickname for because you know what I mean. They sold custom bikes, cruisers. That had some name that they would say, and I was like, "What?" And he was like, "They mean dirt bikes." I was like, "Oh, okay." I
bros,
used to say something, but they
Bros?
"Where that, bro?"
Bros?
bros,
Oh, I don't know.
that's what they call them in California.
It might, man. It was something, and I was like, "What?" I was like, "I don't know if we sell those, dude."
This is like a regional dialect? What?
Dude, one time some Hell's Angels came in, and like they were like legit, like they have tattoos that like if you have them and you don't earn them, like,
Oh, yeah.
they'll kill you.
yeah.
And these guys had like
Seriously,
patchwork
yeah.
and all that stuff, and like they had like guns on them and shit. And I was like, "Some guy, Patrick, Patrick."
Yeah. Can I get a manager?
I'm going on break.
And he came out and he was like, "What's
Exactly.
up?" And he was like, "Oh, what's up, guys?" And they turned out to be like the coolest guys ever.
Most of our, hey, listen, and that's funny that you said like, so I mean, I'm kind of a nerd, but the character Hagrid in Harry Potter, that character came from, so J.K. Rowling was in a bar, and she was next to a Hell's Angel, a huge bearded Hell's Angel, and they were just kind of drinking at a bar, and by the end of like their meeting together, he was talking about how his petunias weren't doing very good that year in his garden. And so like that was like the character that she based off of him. Yeah, so supposedly they're just drinking and this huge scary guy's like, "Man, my petunias are just not fucking coming in this year." And she's like, "Okay, yeah, you're going in this." Like
That's crazy. But
that's what I mean, that's just like most of those kind of people, if you don't rub them the wrong way, like it's just, I mean, it's all about respect. If
Yeah.
you treat
Yeah.
somebody with respect,
yeah,
everybody's going to come with you open arms most of the time. I mean, most people don't get into problems unless they're looking for it.
yeah.
You know?
And that's
Like-
the thing. And that's the thing is like, man, we've been totally cool with everybody. You know what I mean? It's exactly what you said. As long as you're respectful, man.
Goes
I
a
agree.
long way. You catch a lot more bees with honey than vinegar, man. Goes a long way.
So, but yeah, shout out to them. I won't put any details, but they paid cash for a custom bike. They
Because cash
they
talks,
paid
baby.
cash, like
Yeah.
large amounts of cash, like a huge
They came
amount
in.
of
They
fucking
came
cash.
in this motherfucker like fast and furious. I need 6 nitrous tanks.
Like I'm talking like
Boom.
these guys were so fucking in it. They were wearing vests with no fucking t-shirts, son. It was just a vest.
Bro, when we were just
Fucking
talking about
hats.
this, who were we talking about? We were talking about the baby, where
Yeah.
he's wearing like a jacket, no shirt, just tatted up, and you're like, you know, the kind of fucking it was Nipsey. That's who it was.
Oh,
Nipsey
yeah.
Hussle wearing a jacket, no shirt, tatted up, and you're like, you know, the fucking type of confidence you have to wear something like that.
I was
You
like,
know?
to wear that type of attire somewhere?
You just roll out the type of confidence that's usually backed up with, I'm going to pay for this custom bike in cash.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember what it was with this situation. I was like, if you show up in that chain with no shirt and a jacket, I was like, you got confidence. Like that's
Nathan, the whole time he's counting bills, he's like, your guys' nipples have got to be really chapped. Man. Put a fucking shirt or a Band-Aid on, one or the other, bro.
Dude, these guys got band-aids.
Dude, yeah, they like I said, they were super cool, but it was just like crazy. They had like guns in their waistband. They
Yeah,
paid a
yeah.
large amount of cash for a bike, and he was like, just
And
don't
he-
stare at him. They were like, just
And
don't
he
stare
shook
at
my
him.
hand at the end. That tells a lot about a man. Like,
Yeah, and like to their defense, man, shook my hand and was like, I was like, thanks guys for coming. They were like, thank you, man. Rolling
Absolutely.
out. They were nice as hell. You know what I mean? He was just like, don't be looking at him. Like, he's like, don't
staring at the
yeah, don't stare at him. Like, He's like, they're clearly dangerous. Like, but
You're staring at him, and he's like, "Do I have a bug? Are you all right?"
is there anything that you want to cover? Anything you want to bring? Anything you want to talk about before we close it up?
Not really, man.
You want to make a shout out to
I
anything?
think you guys should come to Supercross in Arlington at the end of the month.
Texas?
Yeah.
Well, what day?
I can't remember. I think it's the 24th that weekend.
Oh, you mean March?
No, February.
Oh, wait. Oh, it's January. Never mind. I'm a dumbass.
So February 24th.
May.
That would be
That
hard.
does sound really.
I mean, that'd be
That's-
dope.
That's
That's
fun, man.
That's the weekend before Pyramid.
Yeah.
Maybe. I
We
mean,
have to see what's going on. I mean, that
I
would
can
be.
look into it.
If we win, it'd be worth it.
You guys would love it. I know
Yeah.
you would.
Oh yeah,
I
absolutely.
took my wife last year, and she's hooked now.
if we went, I would be.
It's crazy when you walk
Oh,
in
I
that
already
big
know
ass
when I-
stadium and get that smell of the race fuel and all the bikes. You're like, oh hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh
that-
no, and that's what I'm saying. Like when I went to Monster Jam, and they did. I mean, they did a couple of Supercross Supercross races, and then they did some ATV races and stuff like that. I mean, that was one of the most fun I've ever had in my life, man.
Yeah, dude. When I went to the races when they had like a race team and shit, dude. Being down there in the race pit, they're some of the dirtiest fucking guys, bro. You hear some of the dirtiest jokes. Like one time, like I was like trying
Horse
to use
racing's the same way, bro. I did horse racing for a long time. It's
Yeah.
the same exact way.
I was
No
trying to
shit, you're a
use.
jockey?
No, look at my fucking ass. Look at
I was trying to use a shot vac one time, and this guy was like,
a horse's back.
I was trying to use a shot vac one time. And this guy was, and it was like broken. And this guy was like, "Well, if it don't suck, it's no good, so get rid of it." He was like, "It's no. If it don't suck, you need to get rid of it ASAP."
ASAP. That goes
So-
to all aspects of your life,
Yeah.
Johnny.
But anything else you guys want to add?
No. I was gonna try to throw a Beyblade into the situation, but no.
I think we're good, bud. Thanks for
Alright.
having me, bud.
Not a problem. Thanks,
Thanks
for
for
coming
coming out,
out.
Any
man. It was
fucking
really
time,
cool
man.
meeting
Any
you.
fucking time.
Big shout out to Bark and Beauties.
Yeah, for
grooming,
sure.
anything like that, you guys go check it out.
Get your bitch's haircut.
Get your bitches.
That was really funny. That was genuinely funny.
Max hasn't said a lot today, but when he does, it's gold.
Good.
It's fucking gold.
Solid.
That's why he's got the gold mic.
Gold
You
mic.
guys go if you're watching this, you're obviously on our YouTube. Go check out some other videos while you're
Yeah,
here.
please, man.
cycle
We
through
love how
all
the
of
YouTube's
them.
popping.
Working really hard on the promos. Working really, really hard. You guys, we're over 2,000 views. Thank you guys so much. That's
Yeah,
fucking
shout out
awesome.
to y'all.
And it went quick, too. I mean,
5,000 total plays on all platforms.
it was
We're-
this time, like
we're
last
killing
week,
it,
that Nathan was like, what the fuck is going on with YouTube?
Yeah,
What the fuck
and
is
it's
going
crazy too because it's kind of hurt our audio a little bit. Like you can see,
Oh,
like
yeah.
we're catching like 80 to 100 on the audio, and then it starts to taper off. And then when we start on YouTube, we're catching like 5 or 6 to like 20, and then it's like boom, we're catching 300, 200, 150, a bunch of them. So it's going up. So I appreciate all that, you guys, most definitely.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Big shout out to C Mallard Media. Miss Mallard, she's completely awesome, dude. She gave us permission to use her footage for some fights
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Those promos.
Big shout out to her. I told her I would just give her a shout out on the end, but I'm gonna give her a shout out all the way around as long as we can. She's awesome. Shout out to Gemini Snow Photography, Daisy Murray. She's the
She's
girl
the
that
shit.
did-
I liked
yeah.
her a lot. She's
Yeah,
super cool.
She
she
gave
was
us
really cool.
permission to use
And
her
she's
photos.
very talented.
Yeah, she gave us permission to use her photos too and stuff like that. So, big thanks to her.
She
You
got
guys
some
be
good
on-
shots of us.
Yeah, she did
It's
too. She
funny.
really
Like, She
did.
did. Did she get any of you? Oh,
Nope.
well, it's all right. She's saving them. That's the problem.
Well,
They're in her lockbox.
he-
Like,
He showed up at 6 and like
Oh, right,
before
right,
the fight
right,
started,
right,
and
right,
we had
right.
been there with her since like 2:00. So
Yeah.
we were the only media people there. That's why.
Yeah.
Anyway, big shout out Pyramid Fights 15. February 29th, we will be there. Benton
Yeah.
Event Center, 7 p.m.
that's right.
We will be covering. We got Avery, These Hands Wilson,
Hey.
the motherfucking heavyweight champ.
The
coming-
boy.
He's coming in
He's
here.
like number 3 heavyweight in the Southeast.
Yeah, and then
Kid's
he's
a
number
monster.
1 in the state. I know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, number 1 in the state.
And he's the
three.
number 1 in our hearts here.
In
Here.
our hearts,
Okay.
yeah.
And then that motherfucker.
You're going to be fighting our guy right here coming up pretty soon. That's right. He hasn't had a lot going on, but he's coming out swinging.
He's coming in with Jaden Webb, the flyweight champ. That's funny. We had the flyweight and the heavyweight champion coming in.
Media champions.
Super awesome guy.
They're gonna have a
in.
tag team event coming up pretty soon. We're trying to work that out.
Yeah.
Avery's gonna be throwing him.
Oh, exactly. Like using Jane as a projectile.
Oh,
Hood rat.
anyway, you guys come out, check that out. Tyson, thank you so much for coming by, my man.
I got
thanks, man.
again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anytime
Nice
you want to
meeting you
come out,
guys.
man, that's
Yeah.
awesome. And I love having people that have a shit to talk about.
Absolutely. And one more thanks to all you guys, man. I posted in the group. If you guys see this, I appreciate it more than anything in the world. Like, we wouldn't be anything without you guys. We're getting all this opportunity because of you guys. We wouldn't have anything to offer if you guys didn't watch
Without
our
you guys,
stuff.
I would just be good looking.
I'm telling you, man.
It'd be ridiculous.
We would just be
It'd
talented
be-
as
yeah,
fuck.
I'd just be talented with no platform.
I
No
swear
one
to
would
God.
know about it.
We would just no one would know how genius and how truly fucking hilarious I am.
Except for my mom.
Thank you guys for tuning in, man. You guys tune in for the next one. Thank you so much.